And we're rolling. Well, welcome everyone. This is the weekly IRC and video meeting, the monthly video meeting of the OpenStack Technical Committee. And we have a short agenda and an even shorter list of attendees today. So we'll see how much of it we can get through. Uh, and we're going to take some notes on IRC as we do this. And yeah, I don't see a point in doing the courtesy ping because I think the rest of the folks are out today. That's right. All right, let's just catch up from the get-go from last week's AIs. We took a few, and this was concerning uh, Venus and Vitraj. These were the two projects that we were looking to mark inactive. Right now, we have a couple of patches for these. I realized I have not updated the original mail threads, uh, but I can do that right after this meeting. It's the Venus one. And we're setting this new flag as well that says the thing is the project team is inactive, which applies to all the deliverables under that project team, and that should help release delivery, the release management folks to try and identify if they had to worry about those repos and add them to the coordinated release and so on. So if this patch merges, then those repositories should be taken out of the release. Right. Any questions, concerns there with that? Okay. If not, let's move on. So we also said we're gonna refresh the Monaska retirement change, which was also done last week, and I think we started gathering some votes as well. That's this one. So this patch will not pass verification until we close. So right now, I think we had a -1 workflow -1. On that, and so far we've not heard back from the person that said that they would like for this change to be dropped because they would want to take over the maintenance. I've asked a few times, and I don't know whether you know. I mean, yeah. Since we've not heard back, I really don't know if we can, you know, let this be at this state. So we can proceed with its retirement by going ahead and removing the repo content, and then ultimately come back and get this change reviewed and merged. So it's going to take a while, given that there are a lot of repositories. And I have not added all of them to the depends on list, but if you click on the hashtag, either of the hashtags, I think, hopefully, no, actually the first one, you will see the whole list of changes. Let's move on to the next AI. So we had a poll on the meeting slots. did that, and I did not check the results this morning, but I think most of you have actually taken the poll at this time, so we should.
I know Dimitri and I put done in the channel yesterday.
Thank you. All right, I think. Oh yeah, Frickler may be out for a few weeks, so I'm not sure if he'll take the poll. But we'll see. I think the EU the APAC friendly times would be very EU friendly, given that the only times that I did consider were things which were earlier in the day in EU or maybe afternoon, and so we should not have a whole lot of problems unless there are other conflicts to worry about. So my thought there is that we will go past the summit where a lot of the EU folks are probably participating in person, and then we'll have the alternate meeting slot the week right after. Um, Hopefully we'll have a good amount of attendance there, unless folks are taken off. But we'll try it, right? And the other thing that will come out of this poll is how often people want this alternate meeting slot. Um, I, for one, or somebody. I mean, like I think even Doug, and I'm not sure about you, Amy. If you can make it to a whole lot of these slots, and if we pick one that's way too early for you, for instance, this would probably be a permanent no, right? So we'll see, uh, you know, how often we can actually have that slot. Um, and we'll adjust the cadence on this one too. For me, the concern would be I don't want it to be too confusing, and I know we can create an ICS file and folks can download it and so on. But it's kind of nice to have something where okay, I know at every week at this time we're going to have something, or every month at this particular time we're going to have something else or some stuff. But if we try to do it bi-weekly and it starts to get confusing, we can readjust.
Yeah, the user committee used to try it bi-weekly, and we were always logging in at the wrong time. So
Okay.
once a month, just knowing will make a big difference.
Okay.
But don't forget every other week your calendars, and then there's the weeks with 5 weeks. It messes things up.
Yeah. Right after summit. Okay. All right. I'll follow up on this and I'll keep you posted. And we needed the next AI was around um, refreshing the TC liaisons. The only thing I think we took care of definitively was the VMT liaisons, and that would continue to be Sylvain and myself. So we didn't have to change anything there, but we do have Gansham still listed on the liaisons list for all of these projects, which is a new liaison. And by that, what I really mean is, I mean, we typically expect the TC liaison to kind of keep a sort of have some sort of an oversight over this project in terms of, I mean, trying to understand how the project activity is, trying to see if there are requests that are going unact, etc. And this comes from the aspect that historically over some years we've actually seen the DPL model kind of wither away when you have multiple people that have probably not looked at the project for a bit. So this is what this was meant to do. Um, but honestly, to be fair, I don't think either Gansham or me have had to do a lot as TC liaisons. I think even Jens is a TC liaison for one of the teams. We've barely ever been pinged. We've probably followed a few weekly meetings, participated, when something was unact by the entire team. But it's a low workload thing. You might just be the person who will be asked to uh, to present a status about the project team or something like that, and very rarely. So if you're interested to do this, those are the teams that need the TC liaison. Those are on the IRC. And if you could go ahead and add yourself in place of Gansham, what I'll do is if I don't see anybody, I might just start pinging folks directly and asking if you can be the TC liaison for a particular project team, based on, let's say, your contribution history or something, or your association with the project. So you're going to be voluntold if you don't have any volunteers for this. Okay, we'll follow up on that next week. And Skyline maintainers, that was the next AI. Was actually, I mean, a couple of things with respect to Skyline. That's one, and also any interest to run a PTG session. On the first one, I did see an ML post from a couple of days ago, I think. It's a self-nomination. I have not been around long enough to see. I've not seen a lot of self-nominations.
I have never seen one.
I was hoping that somebody from the Skyline team would break a look, but they've said that over the past 3 months, they've had some significant contributions to the Skyline project. It would be something for the Skyline team to verify if this person has been helpful and can be a trustworthy maintainer. Um, of course, given the caveat that the existing Skyline team does not really have a lot of time to maintain this full time. So I can pump that mail thread. Uh, and the reason I would copy the Skyline maintainers is because I'm trying to probably defeat their filters. I'm not, which I guess, I mean, has been the only way to try to drag, some, issue to resolution. They've been extremely good at the last thread that got created with this issue. At least the PTL has been quite responsive, and there was a good back and forth there. Should just keep the momentum going, I would suppose. And I'll probably ask the question on the PTG presence as well directly on the ML in case the existing maintainers or anybody new that wants to be involved with the project wants to have presence at the PTG. And any other opinions here? Sorry. And that's a wrap on the action items. Unless there anything else that I'm missing. If not, let's move on to our next topic. Just gonna shuffle this a little bit and bring back the announcement regarding the PTG itself. So I've booked some meeting slots. There are a few topics on the Etherpad as of now, but we're still a few weeks away. So I know people are going to come up and think about these topics closer to the event. But if you do have them, have some early thoughts, just go ahead and add them to the PTG Etherpad. Just, it helps with planning. It helps with avoiding conflicts and things with other teams. More importantly, I think with a lot of folks in later time zones help our new TC member. Earlier time zones will help folks in Europe, perhaps. Uh, but we really can't win with the time zone issues. But with what we have, do we think we need any more slots? That's a question we probably want to ask and answer. Current slots are Tuesday 1600 to 1800 UTC. This was just what we did last time, and Friday the same time. Just avoiding, hoping that we'd avoid an overlap with project teams discussions. It's really hard to do that though. So these are just some possible options. Okay, and that's what we had about the PTG. Let's go back and take on the next topic. quite early in the cycle, really the first official week of the new release cycle. So, are we seeing any gate concerns or any developments on the on Zool, the gate, etc. to share?
No, I don't think we had anything of substantial concern. There was a brief incident over the weekend during a Zool upgrade where we trashed all of the existing job nodes, and that caused a slew of stable check failures that were running at the time. But aside from that, I think everything is back to normal. It was self healing, but was clearly a bug in the way that the data model for nodes was changed in a backward incompatible manner,
Okay,
and caused it to clean up all of the nodes that had been created prior to the automated upgrade.
I see.
But yeah, no lasting impact from that.
Thank you. Awesome. Any Gerrit updates coming up? Uh, I don't recall if we had one recently.
We're still trying to plan for the next uh, major, well, not major in a Simver sense, but the Simver minor. But I think what upgrade to 3.12? What version are we on now? 3.11, I guess. Um, anyway, the upgrade has not been scheduled yet.
Okay,
We're still working on yeah, upgrade to 3.11.
okay, makes sense.
Work is in progress on that, but we don't have a date set for it. We're probably gonna the open dev folks are doing a pre PTG thing because we're always booked solid during the PTG, so it's hard to find time during the PTG to have discussions. And we're having some discussions today, tomorrow, um, about some of that sort of stuff. So we'll probably, I'm guessing next week or later this week, we'll probably have more of a schedule lined up for Garrett upgrades.
Okay, makes sense. Awesome. All right, then let's switch to the next topic, which is the TC tracker. We haven't looked in over here together in a while, but I was going through the list. There is some rot in there that we probably need to clean up. Firstly, I think Allison told me that the user survey results will be available to the project teams in almost a raw data format, but we've seen that before. And this will be shortly. She expected to do it this week, but we might see it between this week and next week. And project teams must be able to assess all of the responses based on their questions and so on independently, and probably use that data during the PTG with their respective teams. I think besides, I don't really have updates on the goals specifically. I think eventlet's the only one eating right before the TC slot on Tuesday. And we'll probably hear more about the goal updates during that meeting. Usually Hervé starts with an update, so we'll expect the same. But I think it's smooth sailing so far with that, and a lot more project teams are coming up with the patches and so on to meet the timeline that they had. The others, I'm going to probably email the goal champions again. I know we've not had much progress on the on FIPS and PRIVSEP for a bit, but it's possible. We've just not prioritized that during this release cycle. We'll see if we can bring that back up to the G cycle. And I18N, I think we had a update on the mailing list, which was pretty encouraging. Which is, I mean, the work that the interns did earlier in the year was continued with some more interns, and this is ongoing work with the interns in Asia. I have not been closely following that, but I think Songshu wrote an update to the mailing list suggesting that we're closer with a few repositories and a few jobs. I think one of the concerns that I had was at this point, can other people actually new people sign up for Zanata accounts? Sorry, Weblate accounts. I meant Weblate. I think we had a limit on that, and we had previously, I mean, we had a few signups from previous that we just froze on. I don't know if we're at a good state with that yet. I can ask for a status update on that as well at the PTG. But if you haven't seen the latest mail thread, that is this one. Okay. What else? I think, yeah, we're working on the Monaska retirement. I think both Dimitri and I don't know who else had items on the emerging inactive project stuff. I think it's going to become a little more urgent now that we would have to mark the documentation for inactive projects, given that we're adding 2 new projects to the inactive list. That would include a whole lot of new deliverables on the inactive list. We can follow up async on that. Yeah, that's the status with everything on the tracker. Do you see anything that needs an update? And the next week, I'll probably refresh this tracker. A lot of the items will show up over there because these are long-term efforts. Anything else about this? If not, let's move on to open discussion. Any topics that you had that you didn't have on the wiki?
Yeah, I've got one that just came up. Elena has asked if we want to have a session at the open source pavilion. We already got added in as a forum session. And right now there's like really no one online for us to get quorum on. But do we want to try to book a slot there as well, just for folks to come meet us?
This was the same thing that Jeremy had sent to the list. This one, and Clark as well.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. I mean, this is the sort of thing that we wanted, like, meet the maintainers sort of a session, right? At the
Yeah,
end of the day.
we forum session because we had some open slots, so I grabbed one of those for us.
Okay.
Definitely grab one of those. I'm even offered to like put a CentOS one up there because I have someone coming and I do have one pack of stickers. But yeah, if we've got people who are interested in doing that, we can definitely grab a slot, discuss what time we want. Jeremy, we also need to talk about our other slot, what time we want to grab for that as well. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, I'm okay doing it anytime when I'm not scheduled to be giving a talk.
yeah, that's kind of mine. I have to keep swinging by the Red Hat booth, making sure it's running properly. But being that I am everywhere and at all times, I didn't actually sign up for any booth duty. So I've got a little flexibility there too. I'll look and see what our schedules are and I'll grab us a slot. Um, and we can put it out there on, I guess, on the channel itself if we want to grab another slot for that.
How
Um,
many are available, Amy?
um, I just have that open. And Jeremy, I'm sending you something off of Starling X list. I'm pretty sure you've already seen it though. Let me go back to the other.
Okay.
Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And realistically, we could do lunch. It doesn't look like it's not bookable, so there's plenty of slots if we want to grab one, and we can probably grab one last minute based on discussion in the TC channel.
I think the one that you had on the TC would suffice. You just heard. I mean, you did post it on the channel
Yeah,
earlier in the week.
the forum slot we
Mm,
have. That's a room that's seated. This is basically think of. I've never been to KubeCon, so let me think. Think of like a cocktail table, or it's actually not a cocktail table. It'll be like a 6 foot table where we can sit, but there's no seating for anyone. So
mm.
it's really people to come and go and ask questions, I think would be the best way to describe it.
But there is a screen installed there so that people can give presentations or do demos or show things off.
That I didn't know about. Um, so yeah, I mean, we can do something there.
You said a 6-foot table.
Yeah, it's usually just, it'll be a 6 or an 8 foot table that we'll put people behind, but there's no seating for people. That's the advantage of the forum
Yeah.
session. Have a room, people will have, be able to sit down and have discussions. This is more coming up and meeting things, as Jeremy said, there'll be the 55-inch screen. You can give a presentation, but it'll be like manning a booth, that type of environment versus a room.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is I do know of some downstream folks that are attending, and these are people that participate in other open source projects. I'm thinking Ceph and such.
That's
Um,
already the slot.
oh, there's already a slot for them.
Yep,
Yeah.
Zool
Oh,
has a slot and Scientific Sig has a slot.
okay. So Ceph, Zool, and Scientific Sig.
I heard that the Garrett folks might be doing one as well, since
Okay.
they've got their Garrett User Summit there with us.
Ooh, typo. Yeah, so I think it'll end up being a nice mix of people. It's just having a booth for an hour or two, and that's it. So not a long time commitment. They don't have to be there all day. Um,
I
I'm
think
pretty,
Sylvain was interested in a meet the maintainer sort of a thing. He also has a talk, I think, so he might be interested if we tag him.
yeah. And I mean, at this late in the game, I mean, Sylvan's already got to talk. Anyone from the TC who is in the neighborhood and doesn't have a ticket, give me your name. I'll get you on the schedule. Get a speaker pass. Um, but I think at this point, everyone who's going to be there is going to be there. So there's no. I'm more than happy to put everybody's name so everyone knows who's going to be at the TC forum session. But we don't necessarily need to keep adding people on. It's more for us to keep track of who's going to swing by, and also
Mm.
sometimes it helps you to remember that something's on your schedule because I'm the worst about that. Um, but yeah, let's see. I mean, Scientific SIG is definitely taking advantage of this. Anyone else we can put out there and get them some slots. It's a good thing, especially anyone who didn't get a forum slot. We were able to add, I think we added 3 more forum sessions, maybe 4, over the weekend for empty slots. We just filled them with forms of people we knew were attending. There was one forum that we did skip because the person wasn't registered when Helena went to look, because it is last minute. So we tried to pick sessions that we knew people were already going to be there and had confirmed being registered. Because I don't think anyone received notification that your session was suddenly accepted. Um, I will double check with Helena on that because that would be bad.
I don't know if I mean I know Kendall might be around. So do you have any students of open source kind of a discussion?
What kind of discussion?
Students of open source. I think that's the one that she's been leading. Internships and things like that.
I know Kendall's got a whole like part of a day for that.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. And we tried to work it out that the zero to hero or zero to code, I always call it zero to hero, zero to code wasn't conflicting with that. So if anyone gets interested in that, they can come over and do the hands-on.
Yeah. Nice. Awesome. All right. Anything else for open discussion today?
I'll be gone the next 2 Tuesdays. But
All right. Thank you, Amy. All right. Let's wrap it up here and we can discuss async on anything else. Thank you, everyone.
thank you.